Biggest constraint is the process of making laws in this country. That it has to go through the several steps which beyond our control. So that is basic actually. Okay, and I will start with this one. We opened our ears and we got a lot of inputs. We discussed with political parties. We have dialogues with opposition parties. With leaders of opposition parties came to our office, and we have dialogues with some NGOs. We got a lot of inputs from the newspapers and so on, from the media. And the actual thing is, we discussed it thoroughly and we agreed so many things what the public wants, or rather what's the public's expectation. And I've been saying this publicly also, that as an election management body, we are told to manage election and manage anything else related to election. So we can propose, and I think YB knows very well the how proposal of laws will go to the parliament before it goes to parliament. It has to be a decision of dasar by the government in power. We propose, for example, we have proposed so many things: automatic registration, 18 years voting age. These are the two basic things we propose. But it has to be the dasar of the government in power. So our proposal will go to the government, which we cannot avoid that, because that is the system of pentadbiran in this country. It has to be decided by the government in power, whatever the policy direction of the country. Then, when the government disagrees with the proposal, it becomes with the proposal, then only it goes to the drafting people at the Aegis Chamber. Then the people of the Aegis Chamber will draft the proposed laws, and it will be tabled by the Minister of Government in Parliament. So that is something which beyond us actually. So of course the government may come up with many arguments why this, why that. The argument is, of course, the way the government sees things. And my articulation in the media about rejecting this, rejecting that, the only thing which I didn't mention is that we have proposed to the government and the government did not agree. That is something which I did not mention. It is, you have to understand my position. But I've been very frank with the media. I argued along the lines. I indicate to I give the insinuation, maybe the indication why it is not good, because that is how the government argued it. For example, when people talking about voting age 18, the government say, what is the priority now? You want your children to be a politician, to be too political at the young age? They haven't got their college degrees, they haven't got their college education, and so on. We are not the advanced democracies, where 18 years old are leaving the parents, go stay on their own, and things like that. So this is our culture, Eastern culture, the government said. The government wants to be sure the young people will grow up and they are well prepared mentally as well as academic-wise to face the world, to become leaders. So these are the kind of arguments put the government in the sense that they put the priority, education, first to the people, to the young people. And it doesn't make much difference as the way the government argues. 18 years old, wait another 3 years, they become voters. But by 21 years old, they may have college degrees, they may got university degrees, so they are more well prepared. This is what the country wants. So that is, and okay, and some people say that's good. Some parents agree. Of course, I think if you make a referendum asking this question to the people, to the parents in this country, I think It's going to be, it's very interesting decision. We may not be able, we do not know whether the people who wants 18 years old might win the referendum or not. But unfortunately, we don't have referendum laws in this country also. So, I do not know which one to answer, YB, because you did not focus on political financing, actually. You focus on indelible ink. Indelible ink, ladies and gentlemen, I think indelible ink is another, something which we propose to the government. We propose to the government, and then the government looks from the points of practicality in the context of our country. So don't compare us with India, with having 800 million of voters, Indonesia 120 million of voters, Philippines almost 100 million of voters. These are the countries, the African countries who are budding democracies, you know. These are the countries which are using ink. No advanced democracy use ink. So there are good points, there are bad points for the image of the country. So, and on the point of what you call the reality of the need, there have not been a case that won in the election petition cases on the ground of double voting. Double voting. There were few cases which the losing candidate brought to the court, challenging the results on the ground on suspecting double voting, but there's never won. They couldn't prove it because it is so negligible. How many percent? Because it's not easy for a person to go and vote twice if you understand the process of preparation of electoral laws. No two names with two identity cards in the different polling places. No, it is all computerized so systematically. I don't have to explain on that, because Article 114 clearly true. You are rightly said. Article 114 appoints by the Agong with consultation of Conference of Rulers. But there is nowhere in the law that mention how the names goes to Agong. So this is what we have in this country. The law says appointed by the Agong with the consultation of Conference of Rulers. Yes, that is happening. That is what they do, and that is what happens. But how the selection of identifying selection of personalities, names to be channeled to the Conference of Rulers, that one silence in Malaysia. So that's why, if you ask me, the EC should be accountable to Parliament. Of course, that is good, because that is what happening in most countries. Australia, for example, the EC chairman has a role in Parliament to explain electoral issues, electoral reforms, electoral matters. But here, electoral matters, electoral issues are presented in Parliament by the Minister of Government. So it is something which I said, whoever, if we don't change the law, and if it is not debated publicly very strongly, if the public don't debate strongly on this point, like debate in Parliament, raise the issue on the status on the implementation of 114, for example. These are the things which it's not the EC who come out and condemn the articles in the Constitution and telling no, that's not the EC. I think you have to respect. The EC is given the set of laws, and we conduct our function within the framework of law. And for that matter, all other agencies in government, But EC is not agency of government. But still, we are governed by a set of laws approved by Parliament, presented by the government in power in Parliament. And again, I saw you, as I mentioned to you, there were so many things which we proposed but did not pass through. So I do not know how to explain. I hope you understand. These are the kind of constraints in terms of legal aspect on the status of EC. Then you mentioned about you compare EC with police. The police request any budget, request anything. No, you cannot compare. Police is agency of the government. Just like any other ministries, they got the budget, they buy things according to their budget request for the implementation of their proposed policies. But EC is an organization that conduct election to determine the representation in the Dewan and the government. So I said earlier, we are talking about EC's responsibility to provide facilities and avenue for the people to choose government. Government means power. And I agree, the public perception of EC is very low. I agree. And that's why we keep on explaining our constraint. We don't come out and speak. People say agency, EC is agency of a government. No, actually. Not under the law and not the way we function also. But there are few things. How we become established, our status with something beyond us. Jadi, the other thing is you mentioned about Article 114, the government having two-thirds majority, then all of a sudden proposed to amend the age of election commissioners' retirement to 66. Yes, of course. That's again explain the prerogative of the government in power, and they are the one who decides what to do with the laws. So it's a big thing actually. It's a big wall in front actually when you talk of political reforms in this country. Frankly, I'm telling you. Then you talk about election day in Galas. It is very difficult to decide a date of election to satisfy everybody. We have experienced long time. To get a date that make everybody happy is a problem.